What's up, everybody? Enlightened Masculinity solo episode. These episodes keep getting better and better and better. And, part of what makes the episode so good is the energy and the pace at the beginning when people click play. To get people to click play, we got to have an attractive thumbnail and also a really attractive title, maybe all capitalized. The first couple words in the description need to grab your attention. So what it's like living with the demon king of seduction, right? ZEPAR, the demon king. So when someone does a blood pact or a demon pact, they blend with that energy. But what is a demon? Is that like a thing outside of you? Like in, I was just watching a Lord of the Rings scene, and it was from the first Lord of the Rings, and Gandalf was fighting the Balrog under the, where the dwarves are in the caves, and he fights you shall not pass. And he does that thing and he's fighting, that's a demon. But what? That's like a big, giant, like bullheaded thing. Like, it's not really what a demon is. And we don't need to go into demonology or whatever. Obviously, it's not a big part of what we do here because really everybody else made a bigger deal about it than what he made about it and what even I made about it. I had a knee-jerk reaction to it like once. And then I quickly understood more about what's going on just from energy and whatever. And, it's the language of frequencies and, altering consciousness and going into trance state. And, when one has designed one's lifestyle so fervently, so thoroughly around a subject, you tap into the spirit of that subject, that there is the idea of a square is as old as the universe. Just somebody, a human on Earth somewhere in the last 10,000 years, let's say, guessed the shape of a square. They drew it in the sand, or they draw it on a cave or something. 100,000 years, I don't know, pick your time. Last million years, someone on Earth discovered a circle or a triangle. But that shape, that idea of an equilateral or a whatever the fuck name of these kinds of right angle triangle, that concept of a right angle triangle has always been in existence. It just took a person to come and kind of realize it and write it down. And so individually they discovered it for themselves or for the planet or for humanity, but that already existed. The frequency of the square of that information, because everything is energy. If it's a thing, it has energy, mass and energy. And so the word square has energy, how I say it, the tonality, but the idea of it, you see it in your head and there's some color or some shape to it. And you notice it because of frequency. If you feel the texture of something, there's a frequency going on there. There's a temperature of something. There's a frequency involved with that too. All kinds of ways that it could be described using the language of frequency and energy. And when you organize your life, let's say everything was like soccer. I used to play soccer. And if everything was soccer, all my wardrobe was soccer, all I talked about was soccer, all my girlfriends were into soccer, all my friends were soccer players or soccer coaches or soccer mentors or my soccer YouTube channel, my soccer blah, 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 blah. Then if there was a god of soccer, I would be the guy that god would want to talk with, that would want to channel him, whatever. And there is a spirit of soccer. There is a spirit of the square, of geometry. There is a spirit of everything, because there's a mind to everything, and mind and spirit come like as sides of a coin. Like spirit is breath, right? The breath, the energy, the prana of the thing comes with the mind of it. Energy goes where attention flows, or attention goes where energy flows, or however it's said. It's back and forth. It's reciprocal kind of statement. So living with the demon king, he is it. As much as anybody can do a pact with an entity, but it is an alignment of one's lifestyle, and then coming into the language and the system, the demonology or whatever it is, and then going through whatever rituals there are about that. And more importantly is practically in this life, in this world, like what is there's the manifestations after that pact, but there was who earned it up until then with the lifestyle of relationships, of game pickup, social dynamics, building that up, making oneself known and making oneself the best in the world. And then, look, Vanessa comes back with another picture. Is this your other girlfriend? No, same girl. Looks good. When did you guys take that? Man, I don't remember that one. So then what is an interesting, man, I was just telling Jose Luis Sanchez, what is it like living here? It's incredible. It's world-class experience. It's unlike anything that you could find or get anywhere else with other people, because it's just unavailable. When you have like a top of the world person, a player like that, then it's irreplaceable. But then personally, what the individual goes through to come to this, because the world out there is very hypnotized by feminism, socialism, communism, and then all kinds of agendas in your involving Hollywood media, news, and all of that stuff, sex agendas, and it kind of plays into the feminist socialist kind of stuff. But where to the point where they've broken apart the tribes, they've broken apart strong male alliances, they've broken apart men's groups by infiltrating it with women, insisting on it, and by gradually, piece by piece, chipping away at gender differences in the minds of people, even though there's obvious differences physically, but nobody wants to admit to psychological differences, emotional differences. There are emotions in the human that are not cultured into them. Babies cry. Nobody had to fucking condition that baby, teach it how to cry. Babies laugh. Babies have emotions, and they're the same emotions to the same stimuli everywhere around the world, whatever, if you're Chinese baby or black baby, white baby, Native American baby, so there's an emotional circuitry that's genetic. The genes grew it. There might be some conditioning from the mom and what the mom is going through, like while the baby's in there, whatever, what happens to the baby while it's in there, bumps into something or whatever. But, what's the spread on that variance on that behavior? And then, can we see commonalities throughout the planet? We do. The babies are, there's a condition that is baby in the emotional circuitry, and there's a condition where you can tell when the emotional circuitry is off. And what is that in you, that radar that you can tell? That's something genetic, because nobody taught you how to be able to tell healthy emotional circuitry in a baby, and the condition of culture, actually, everything about it related to men and women and how they should interact is pulling you off of a natural code of how to be men and women. And you won't realize it because it's cleverly hidden behind 1,000 words. And so you can poetically talk about how the rose stinks and is ugly, or you can poetically talk about how that trash is so beautiful and elegant. If you can do it with the right words, you somehow make it so it's a lie. You totally perceive something that's not, that not is not. This grammar that's going on here. And day by day, and with the whole media and Hollywood and everybody in on it, generation after generation now, at the very least since World War II, at the very most since aliens engineered us, but really at the very most, definitely since biblical texts and things like that have been written, it's been not because the texts themselves are wrong, but because it's always been in the hands of few people that could read and write. And so the masses were always controlled through that as authority. Teacher said blah, blah, blah. Teacher said blah, blah, blah. Master said blah, blah, blah. But you don't know because you can't read, but that's what it says. And that was a way for a weaker person to control a stronger person. It's very interesting because mind and the emergence of like language and philosophy or whatever is, quote, natural. It's kind of like when people will talk about like there's natural ecosystems and there's human systems like cities. Well, humans are natural also. We're natural occurrence, even if we were engineered, whatever, but we're like organic, living, breathing, hairy. We go through animal. We're an organic thing here. And if we survived in the jungle, we would be part of nature. Like the city is just a sophisticated, orderly ecosystem. we put some clay together and we stick some trees up like that. And now we have straight shapes and whatever. And it's like our ecosystem. And, so in that way, like language is also a natural thing because it's just like birds chirping. That's natural. We're just really sophisticated at that, really sophisticated compared to that. Compared to the universe, our language is so savage, unprecise, inaccurate. But I'm sure they would, higher intelligence would see some intermediary between us and we're above animals. I'm sure they would see a difference in language because it doesn't make sense. At some point, our mind came in, and now the weaker person survives better somehow through words, just standing here and making sound and listening and making sound and surviving better. So the mind comes in, and so now it kind of can imbalance that in a way where it's like the weaker person is surviving better, but there's a reason. The stronger person earned that power, has a vessel for that power. So the weaker person needs to now strengthen his philosophy to wield that power, or it's going to come from a pathetic, small person's mental position, mental place. So that responsibility and accountability, that's what I was telling Jose Luis about, living with the Demon King. This guy, he earned that through not being a lone wolf, right? He lived in San Jose for 3 decades. He taught martial arts. He had many students and game students and people like me that had come for a couple events here or there, or traveled for a one-on-one. So he was known here and established, but like, let's say going out gaming, he didn't have a pack like this where there's always these guys available to go out with. And, there no wingmen like that, maybe occasionally like Tigran he had as a wingman or whatever for like a year. So the game was won, through his martial arts background, having that facility, a women's fitness center, or a martial arts center that he split into a women's fitness center. You pick up women and bring them to, and always have that culture, with his relationships. And so, because the big thing you'll have when you're ripping your girl away from the normie lifestyle or whatever, or you're having her sever her ties or whatever, she's going to get lonely. She doesn't have girls to talk to or other people to talk to that are okay, because they're all going to introduce some toxicity and some negativity of, being too loose with other guys. If she has girlfriends that are too open and loose with other guys, it's going to pollute her energy. Because those girls have lower standards. They talk in a trashier way. They're going to bring in drama that she just doesn't deal with. She just doesn't have. She doesn't even deal with that kind of drama. But it's probably good for her. She should see, because she's still bringing you drama. It's the drama of, she'll just make a problem out of it. We all do that. If we don't have enough to keep ourselves busy, we make a problem out of things that aren't problems. Because as soon as a real problem shows up, you drop a lot of your drama, like a real problem, like a car accident or someone knocking at the door, or, family tragedy or so. All of a sudden, the thing that was a problem is not a problem, because your mind was making a problem out of something because life wasn't urgent enough at that moment. You were too comfortable. And that's what she gave her a great life. And then she brings you complaints. And because she's not interacting with any of the hoes out there that are just like loose with guys and they're living in anxiety and they got a lot of complaints and they don't understand. They're pretending like they don't understand. It's ridiculous, but I get it, because it's just this mass Maya is what they call it in yoga. It's like this illusion. People are living in the matrix of their mind. It's hypnosis out there. And what's happened, because it really came to a head pretty much like at the beginning of COVID, right around that time. I mean, it was all strategized. Now we got things like Matrix 4 coming out, and like the new Star Wars movies coming out, and they're all like LGB, whatever, because it's all it's their last straw. They're trying as much as they can to bring as many people to their side so that, I don't know what their plan is. Fuck them. So, AZD had created a life for himself with 5 girlfriends, let's say, that themselves being that he had trained them, especially the first like 2 or 3, while he still had a women's fitness center. So they were training girls like physically in person. He could impart that knowledge to them because they were doing that. Then he closed the fitness center, turned it online, but they were still trainers because they were fucking trainers. I mean, anybody that's done it in person could do it online once you learn the tech. And then he had 2 other girlfriends. So bravo, that's like incredible. Got to that position, world, like top of the world. Then COVID happens. Now it brings all of their girls, their followers, onto women's mentorship. So now he's corralling lots of girls, and the economy is contracted. Everything's closed. There's lockdown and whatever. So now harvest your Instagram, just like harvest that shit. And of course, he dealt with censorship, and they deleted an account. You have to start again. But in that, he squeezed 2 other girls out of it. So now he's up to 7 girls, while everybody else is now buckled down with their 1 girl or no girls during quarantine. If you were down, it's almost better to be with no girls, because when you were locked down and in quarantine with 1 girl, you were going psycho, man. And then she's going to just leave you or cheat on you because there's 1,000 dicks available to her, and they're all giving her their goodness. And meanwhile, he's accumulated because he's staying in this constant interacting with the women, keeps him cool, man. If you're just isolated with 1 girl during lockdown, it's going to be hard to keep your cool, you know. And if you're not interacting with any girls and gaming any girls, and all the social venues are closed, how are you going to stay cool? You know, this game atrophies. Even a bodybuilder doesn't lift for like 3 months, and you're no longer at that level. Like, you'll eat yourself. What are you going to do? So, meanwhile, he did this thing that was like, how, if you know anything at all about nuclear electricity, he reached a critical mass. So the nuclear fire turned on, and now it's generating energy. Also, with the assistance of yours truly, everybody in their organization needs a yogi, Chris, because the same thing happened with the student body. Now a critical mass had been reached where it was generating power monthly. Every month there was this overturn of the wheel. And so now wisdom could spring forth. Less and less and less energy was ever invested in, lifestyle duties or whatever. Like, there's still that, but, so much has been delegated. So much. So wisdom, it's like a fountain of wisdom, because then what is the 24 hours used for is the process and interacting with the enemy, the female, a high value female, a variety of high value females that all know about each other. Also the student body that also know about the women, and the women know about the student body, and everybody knows that it's about the information that's coming out of this. Oh yeah. And then strip clubs, events, pushing the horizons of what's available, getting known and everything. But it's a fountain of wisdom that is the proper vessel for the demon king of seduction, ZEPAR. Because it's this tiny nuclear energy source engine that's just like, just flaring out this energy that is the antidote to the Maya out there, the feminist socialist culture that the elites had, some of the elite had instilled top down through media and everything over the generations, controlling the printing press, controlling money. As I'm not saying that I personally in their positions wouldn't have been, I don't know. That's a lot of power and money. It's so many orders of magnitude out of my experience that I can only like to think that I would apply great philosophy, and I would have done better. Would have been a Marcus Aurelius or something. But they did their things, and they're fucking evil, some of them. And what we know of language and how it has shaped our perspective and shaped our reference frame, so that we see things through a frame of reference of our language, our grammar, in combination with our upbringing, and how the energies of all that we are living life in our mind and not necessarily living life in the world. And in our mind is where they have framed our references. So we're tolerating an experience from women and giving an experience to women that is kind of pre-scripted for us. And what's happened over here is this nexus, or this black hole, or this fucking collapse and this critical mass, because that's what a black hole does too, is a critical mass is reached. And this is the antidote to all of that, because it keeps working. It keeps these women out of that cesspool. It keeps growing. Now it's to 9 women or 10 women. And the frame of reference, how he responds to what the female is giving, is made available to him naturally as a vessel because of the familiarity with the female, because of the variety, because of the way that it's the engine. When you have an engine made of magnets and electricity and things like that, everything's got to be precise. If it's off a little bit, there's a little buffer region where it can go back into it. But if one piece is missing, the engine doesn't work. Like there's a relationship. Like if you have orbiting bodies, let's say around a star system, and you all of a sudden you're playing God and you just remove a whole planet, like there's going to have to be some readjustment that happens. It will even remove the smallest planet. There will be a readjustment. And that might result in two planets colliding or something, or one spinning off out of the solar system, and then another readjustment happens. So, living with the demon king of seduction is, experiencing the patterns of the day of his life, molding my patterns to be similar, kind of mimicking the song. It's kind of like watching someone play the guitar and you keep trying to piece it into pieces like that you can make out until you have a resemblance of the whole song, but then you got to practice the whole song all the way through many times. And then you still keep coming back and finding that you had that one note off. He played it different, and you got to keep readjusting until you get it perfect. And then part of playing a performance is having a bunch of songs, and you're like, oh fuck, I got to learn this next song. And then in the end, the goal is really not even to learn the songs, but after you learn enough songs, is you start to figure out how to make your own songs, because you just learned so much in the process. And you may invent some ways, but then, what we do here, there is a freedom from confusion about the woman that liberates our attention in many ways, our attention. And the plight of that is that with more freedom is more responsibility. So as you see more, then you can't ignore it. You can no longer enjoy the ignorance because you're no longer ignorant. So you have to step up and do something. And then you realize that you need skill to do that. So it's like the awareness only had a moment of bliss. Now I have to do it, and I'm not good at it. So it's the skill of game. That's why a lot of guys drop off. They're not willing to go through the heartache of learning the skill of it, and the mental pleasure of it is only it's so limited, So, meaning what? Like you're going to bliss out talking about yoga all day, or are you going to do yoga? You can have great conversation. Are you going to bliss out talking with a girl all day, or are you going to make a move? Where's it going to go? Like you could talk about how much you enjoy the business all day, but when's the money going to change hands? Because we're going to die one day. And we want the best for ourselves. But that's for us to judge, right? Okay, Raul Cervantes, can you talk about how easy it is for him to seduce the female energy? I think that the reference of what people think with the seduction of the female energy is a very unfamiliar term. Let's say if hundreds and hundreds of people listen to this podcast recording, I think the idea of seduction of female energy is probably very foreign to most of them. And they have some ideas in their head about it, but that's just not what it is. It's somehow saying or doing something that without you grabbing and pulling the woman towards you, your word, gesture, communication, whatever the fuck you did, your look, something about you pulls her in. She moves closer, but it's as if there's an invisible string that pulls her. And when you see what does that in person to the highest value women, like I can't say it's like the top of the world women. What I can say is it's the top around. It's like the top of this world. Like we're not flying to Dubai to pick up their women and flying to Amsterdam to pick up our women because we built a life. That's what this life is. That's the life of traveling pickup artists. Like I've been a traveler, and there's an interesting game that comes with that, because girls fall for guys that are from out of town, because if they look like they're surviving, all else being equal, they must be stronger than the local men. because they're surviving just as strong, as good as the local men, but they're traveling, and that's more exotic and more fun and everything. They are at a disadvantage. If they were based up, everybody knows they do better. People don't realize that people travel because psychologically they're not doing good. They keep escaping things. That's what that, nobody who's really psychologically sound, I mean, you'd have to really make it worth my while. But a lot of the guys traveling, they're not making it worth it. They're making it worth their own while because they really want to travel, because psychologically they're not okay. So that's the travel pickup artist or whatever, the travel anything guru. But, you know, I kind of got lost where I was going into traveling, but such seduction of the female energy is, you know, the female energy exists in all things because all things are gender. So the females, seduction of females, individual humans, like women. See, I'll make it more real. It's the womb man, the man with the womb, the woman, how he seduces the men with wombs, the woman. And, you know, how easy it is. What keeps coming to my mind, man, is wrestling, dude. When you, there's a way to, let's say, a shot. They call it a shot. That's when you attack the person's leg. You try to get through their arms to reach their leg. And once you get their leg, you hold it tight. You can get them to the ground. So leg attacks is, you know, when you, some people, when you're so good, it just like flows and you're doing a demonstration or whatever, and it flows. Or sometimes you could be live wrestling and it just looks like you're drilling the move because you're so good at it that the other person doesn't even look like they're defending it. They're like, dude, defend. And you're like, dude, he just keeps timing it just right. Like I can't move my leg or whatever. He's so fluid and fast with it. And it's like, how easy is it for you to shoot that sweep single takedown? Or how easy is it for you to do that low single? Or how easy is the ankle pick? Talk about how easy it is for you to ankle pick, the OSU wrestler or whatever. And, well, I mean, it's not that the ankle pick is so easy. It's that I train so hard everywhere else in life that the ankle pick, I'm just, when I do it, it's so strong because my arm's strong because of the pull-ups, or my timing is so fast because, you know, I ate right, or I slept enough. And like, you know, I'm strong enough because I trained right. Like, it's all the other things I did that made that easy. It's a lifetime. It's an accumulation of things that makes it look so good. And what it does in the moment is it looks so good, and it's so advanced and above the level of the opponent that it's people that are almost not even wrestling fans. They're watching the guy do the ankle pick, and they're like, fuck, dude, that just looks so good. I don't even know what's happening. I don't understand the score system, but it looks so athletic and so good. But this is better than wrestling, because wrestling, of course, is a narrow niche of humanity. Everybody is out in the mating game. That's the whole humanity. So everybody can relate to the male-female drama. We are polarized a little bit in the LGBT socialist community. They would actually probably be offended even after seeing the woman's pleasurable reaction. They would be like, that's toxic, and she's reacting to conditioning, and they would try to make her a victim and try to say it's, you know, whatever. And they have to convince you of that, because she's not being convinced of her feelings. She's just feeling. So you could have all the information and try to convey it to her, but she has to feel it. That is the sexist red pill truth, the hard truth of it in reality, that you got to have good game. It's not about how smart you are on the subject. The game is separate. And there's guys that got good game, but they got no philosophy. And so they can't explain their life. And if you can't explain it, then it doesn't make sense to the person, and they're going to fuck up, because even a monkey driving a car is going to fuck up because they don't understand the rules of the road. Like, you got to be able to explain it. It's not enough that you're just a natural. And if you are, I mean, that's just going to limit where you go. And that's where, I mean, we have Hugh Hefner or Larry Flint, or maybe a few guys that kind of, but like, we can also judge them. Like, we don't want to sexualize our private women. We don't want to pimp our women. We just like that. So we judge them as off, even if they mastered the female in some way. We don't want to master it in their way. Like, that doesn't, we don't look up to that. We see the pickup artist, and like, there's no good, strong, there are good, strong references. We have high standards because we're looking at the best in the world. And it is the best in the world. That's why the demon king of seduction, ZEPAR, went this route. And I was already following AD at the time. And, I explored a little bit with Frank White and I came to terms with it. It was like cool with me, like whatever. And the wisdom that comes from, and now it's not a point. He doesn't do like seances and rituals and whatever. He just is it and just lives. He's it and he's beyond it. And the experience of living with him, and even just finishing that question, how easy is it for him to seduce the female energy? It's it's world class, man. It's like saying, the Olympic gold medalist, or even more than that. It's like saying, it's hard to compare because it's very interesting. Like, I don't know if I call it like a genre or subject of humanity. Because I see him as very far above second place, whatever that may be. But I got to keep admitting that I don't know what's going on in China or India, or, there's a lot of people there. Like, is there somebody that's a playboy? Like it can't be the same. So it's an anomaly. And it's an art. So it's not like some kind of codified boxed system where like we're running the 100-yard dash and everybody's running the same 100-yard dash, or we're all competing for the same thing. Like in his socioeconomic place and in his place of the world and his lifestyle, is there somebody like a rock star traveling the world that has 6-7 girlfriends, and maybe they're not talking to other guys and they're all beautiful and they all know about each other? I don't know. Maybe there's some playboy, but it's a different life and it's not built on this philosophy. So there's something that is so unique about this. It's like seeing an artist that became such a good glass blowing artist or something. And he's like but he's so much better than the best glass blowing artist, except that it's such an important field of relationships and communication, of energy and everything, mind understanding. That I don't know really what to compare it to. It's almost like Donald Trump running for president. It's like something so out of the matrix of all the other dating coaches out there. It's just not the same. It's just because he's the president, he's not like other presidents. And AZD is not like any dating men, Vince Kelvin, fucking Hypnotica, Mystery, Discovery, any of the new guys that I see on YouTube. So Raul Cervantes, can you give a quick overview of how he seduces a woman in the beginning? I don't know. I think a lot of it is lifestyle. So it's like demonstrating, and distinguishing what is seduction. Like the art of seduction would talk about the whole pickup is seduction, like the whole way from not knowing the woman to introducing yourself to her or meeting her, all the way to sexual conquest and relationship. They would just call that the whole thing, the seduction. Then in the pickup arts, there's like attraction phase, there's comfort phase, there's the sexual phase called seduction. And then what happens after that is relationship. But does not seduction continue? So these models, one would say, I think even Arash might say, that seduction is always happening. Attraction is always happening. Comfort is always happening. It's just what is being emphasized, the proper order to be emphasized. You should be seducing her while you're attracting her. But you don't then just go right to the bedroom. You got to be comfortable with her, but you should be seducing her while you're comfort building also. You should also be still attracting her. So it's, okay. So now that I've got that out of the way, can you give a quick overview of how he seduces a woman in the beginning? From the beginning is the opener, or when she first sees him and then opens, and then, the female to male interest, DHV neg, male to female interest qualifier. That's like the beginning. And how he seduces is going to be so much. The tattoos, body language, smell, smile, sound of the voice. And then what is it? And then is there a girl with him? Okay, that's seductive. It's pulling the girl's mind out of where she was thinking. And what am I showing you on Instagram? All other girls, or my business, or makeup line, or lashes, or whatever. And of course, what is he saying? If it's not some gambit like that, like just noticing something about her, which conveys in the conversation the depth of understanding of female psychology, because I've not only used that line so many times, but I've built relationships off that line. So I know where that line goes. And so I can ask you questions from far deep in that conversation that would pull your mind to let you know that I know what I'm talking about. It's like in sales. So you ask a question that shows how well developed you've made the script. And the client at some point realizes that, man, this person knows their shit. Like they are guiding me. Like I feel like that's where you become submissive. You being guided because of their wisdom and experience, which is conveyed through not their grabbing you and pulling you, through their words. They're saying something to you that makes you know that that salesperson just like thoroughly knows forwards and backwards. And the way they're asking questions also, I am concluding that if I follow them, it will be pleasurable for me. I will survive better. This is the right decision. And also, I'm always looking for any red flag along the way, because when I start going for the ride, I'm looking for fault in character or a false promise or exaggeration or some political thing that I disagree with or whatever. But as long as it ends up being okay all the way through the end, that would be a master salesman. So master seducer, saying those things that, like I said in the beginning, what's seducing is pulling the woman, but not physically, with your communication, and she moves towards you. Right? Okay. Trying to make my voice cooler for these podcasts. And I should probably wrap it up. You know, we're looking to grow in light masculinity. I'm changing the YouTube name to IMC TV. So the first draft of the logo drawn up. Eventually, I'll change the podcast to IMC Radio, or I'll just start a new podcast called IMC Radio, and then just kind of leave this as a package forever in light masculinity. We got things I'm working with the apprentices, so changes to come. Tony K just posted the Genius link, so if you haven't left a review for us, go and do that. Follow the show, and I think that's it. I don't see any hands up, no more comments. So it's Thursday. So we go for the hunt this Friday, Saturday. I don't plan on doing another show. Monday is, we do the Yoga for Sorcery program starts this Saturday. So if you want the first month of yoga, it's a subscription program, so it'll continue. But this first month is going to be sick. And I don't know if you sign up for the second month, I think I'll probably give you the first month of videos. I don't know. It seems unfair really to the first people. So I'll figure that out. Silent Flute is on Monday. I like to stream every day, but I don't think I'll do episodes the next coming days. Maybe I'll figure out something special. But definitely follow the show, and I'll see you in the next episode. Os.